What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. Absolutely solid day. I want to break it down, what really prompted it, what the data points are saying, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, SoFi did close 8.48% in the green, new 52-week high of $18.10, low of $16.89. So SoFi definitely did get a post-inauguration pump, and I think given the administration under Trump over the next 4 years, the finance sector should do a-okay. So SoFi is going to have substantial growth, and plus, I think in reality, people started to realize that SoFi was 1 week away from their epic earnings. So I think you had some level of FOMO kicking in as well. As far as this, 67.6 million shares being traded, 44.07 is the average. So a lot of money was getting into SoFi today. No actual data points though today. So it was more so linked to what Trump stated yesterday, as well as just the general optimism in the broader market. No actual news associated to SoFi at all today or anything like that. Shorts though, this is the first time in a while that they finally did wake up. So they were trying to suppress SoFi, but no dice. They did increase 1.01 million shares today. 11.76% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 125.4 million shares overall are being shorted. I was anticipating for shorts to return because of course that's the logical thing to do, but they kind of did the opposite straight out the gate. They were actually increasing 5 million shares first thing, and then they started to kind of return throughout the day, and so that's obviously as well giving it a nice push higher. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Even after hours today, Netflix had their earnings, absolutely epic earnings, so that should fuel a lot of the momentum going into tomorrow, because I think a lot of the market was really waiting for Netflix's future guidance and how that was going to play out, and honestly it went like perfect. So the market is strong, and you can tell that based on a lot of the data points that have been coming out. Companies unveiling their earnings, absolutely strong. So it is fair to assume that SoFi is going to be no different. So yeah, honestly, I'm very excited for their upcoming earnings. Aside from that though, I just wanted to kind of share with you, I don't know if I've actually brought it up or not, but the implied move for SoFi for their earnings is anticipated to be 12.76%. And over the last several earnings, you can kind of see under this column right here, the 2 weeks, for the most part, it's kind of 50-50 where SoFi does go. So historically speaking, it's kind of like a Russian roulette a little bit, because all of these earnings, SoFi had absolutely phenomenal growth and good future guidance, but sometimes the market just wants to bring it down. And so, like I said, sometimes it'll go up, sometimes it'll go down. It's anyone's guess at this point. So let me know your prediction, if it's going to go higher, lower, or where you see things going. Aside from that, looking at options, 65 million in calls, 12 million in puts, 48% of all the options being done today were optimistic in nature. And you can just see based on the total premiums, today there was 77.9 million, day prior 47, 48, so it hasn't been this amount for a very long time. Just quickly scrolling down, so 74 million in November, then there was the all-time high 107 million. So this is the second highest as far as options SoFi's ever been. So a lot of optimism, a lot of people are catching on to how to kind of make a lot of money, and that is just long calls on SoFi. Looking at some of the call options that was purchased, you see a very strong consensus for it to be above 20, and for next week, so that encumbers their earnings, for it to be roughly around that 21. Oddly, you see a lot around that $25 range, so that would be epic if SoFi hits 25. That would be very, very good. Aside from that, these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So a lot of buying today, and that wasn't necessarily the case across the board. You actually have a little bit lower volume. So definitely goes to show that SoFi having higher volume is like obviously big money is paying attention to it, and I really think that's a good thing. So aside from that, with it closing at $17.90, it is trading between these 2 points, so this R3 and this R2. 17.54 is the strong support. Just watch for that to kind of hold in the next couple trading days, but I think with Netflix, that's going to fuel tomorrow's optimism. And honestly, I don't see that 1754 being touched unless it does sell off because of the earnings. But sometimes my crystal ball is wrong. You guys do your own due diligence, of course. 1874, though, is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So that most likely will be the target for tomorrow. Let me know if you think that is achievable or not. No new analyst ratings, nothing like that. So as far as that goes, looking at this, so the latest analyst ratings was 3 days ago. I don't believe any price target. It was just a buy rating. William Blair, Andrew, who has a 66% success rating. One before that, Tim, $8 sell. And still haven't heard from Wedbush or Compass Point. So most likely, like I said, there'll be sometime this week. If I was to make a guess, it'd be either Thursday or Friday, but what do I know, right? Aside from that, looking at the actual chart itself, honestly, there's not really much negative things to say about SoFi other than the fact that it is overbought. So the first sign of weakness, whether it be specific to SoFi or the broader market, you could see a pullback, but this week there isn't really any planned Fed speakers. There's no planned data points aside from Friday. That's home related. But so there isn't really anything to come out unless Trump does something to potentially shake things up. He would be only that catalyst, I assume, that would cause some volatility. But yeah, there's no data points, nothing really to prompt a sell-off prior to SoFi's earnings. So it looks as though we're going to be up and up from here. So let me know your viewpoint on SoFi. What have you been doing? Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What is your viewpoint on at least the options? Do you think $25 is achievable, or do you think not? And actually going back over here, I think I brought up the calls. I don't remember if I brought up the bull or the bears, but so the bears are anticipating for it to be sub 16. My apologies on that. But so yeah, they're anticipating kind of 16. And for the week of their earnings, same goes for that, roughly $16. So definitely a lot more upside is anticipated. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and massive bangers. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.